Working in practice with clients, definitely a steak would be more satiating than a couple scoops away, for sure, for sure.
And with that too, since we're still on the topic of protein, a lot of people are they're concerned if they drink a lot of whey protein. Let's say that they just don't have the time to cook up a lot of their protein via meat or other foods, and maybe 40% of their total protein intake comes from shakes or whey, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a problem as far as the actual protein, or is it just a problem as far as maybe their hunger?
Hmm. It would mainly be be an appetite issue, I think. There's a lack of studies, and it would be really interesting to run a study that compared, let's say, 50 to 100% of the day's protein from powders versus 100% of the day's protein from just animal flesh, let's say. It would be interesting to see satiety ratings, changes in body composition and or athletic performance. Unfortunately, we just don't have that research, but I can say anecdotally, it's very common for people to get like up to half of their protein intake from powders, and they do just fine in terms of progress, in terms of being able to maintain their gains, etc. But yeah, I know somebody, and I actually had him chronicle the intake of just whey protein and Ben and Jerry's ice cream for 100 days. So he hit his macros,
Wow.
which were decent macros, with Ben and Jerry's ice cream and whey. And dude, guys, he hated it. He After a few weeks, he was hating life. His digestion was way off. His workouts really sucked. And he felt like dog shit. He really did. And you would hypothesize that, hey, whey is a great source of protein, and hey, carbs, fat, whatever. But no, this dude really screwed himself over the course of 100 days on whey protein and Ben and Jerry's ice cream and a little bit of whiskey.
Sounds rather disgusting.
Mm-hmm. That's my friend Anthony Howard Crow.
Would you say it?
He put himself through that.
Would you say it might be true that the faster that we digest something, maybe the faster that we're hungry? So maybe in the case of certain types of protein, and maybe in the case of certainly something like a protein shake, maybe sometimes the faster that we can kind of digest those things, maybe the faster it leaves us with kind of an empty stomach and a hungry feeling. So maybe the shakes are good to help us get the amino acid profile that we're looking for, but maybe they're not great in terms of our satiety.
I would carefully say yes. And the reason why I say carefully is because there's these short-term studies lasting a few hours long comparing the different protein sources and either failing to find a difference or putting way above casein in terms of satiating capacity. But in the real world and across the spectrum of foods and nutrients, generally speaking, the more solid a food is, the more satiating it's going to be. So that would, working in practice with clients, definitely a steak would be more satiating than a couple scoops away, for sure, for sure.
Are you still trying to diet on chicken, broccoli, rice, dry turkey? It's no fun. And a lot of people avoid steak, but one of our sponsors, Piedmontese Beef, has amazing cuts of steak, some that have really low fat, like their flat iron steak that has 4 grams of fat and 80 grams of protein per steak. And then their ribeyes, which are just amazing, juicy, and fatty. So there's no reason to diet with chicken anymore. Andrew, can you please tell the people how to get Piedmontese?
It's over at Piedmontese.com. That's Piedmontese.com. At checkout, enter promo code Power Project for 25% off your entire order. Head over there right now.
And when it comes to fat calories, the fat can slow down the absorption, and maybe that can potentially help you to not be hungry right? Because it can just slow down the gastric emptying of what you just ate.
Yes, that can contribute. The whole phenomenon of being satiated is a multifaceted thing. It begins with anticipating the food, smelling the food, seeing the food, chewing the food, getting the full experience of the tastes, whether sweet, savory, combination. You know, the bigger the event, the bigger the eating event, the more satisfying it is. Then the more satiating that the more satiated that the person is going to be. And so if you're looking at downing 2 scoops of whey, which you can literally do in 15 seconds, that satiating experience is going to be far less than that whole thing I described previously. So there's a lot of aspects to satiety, and that's why when you look at these programs and these these products where, hey, we just threw a bunch of everything you need together in this powder, and you just sip on this Soylent drink all day when you need to eat, you'll be fine. You'll live happily ever after. Well, no, you won't, because it doesn't provide the multifaceted satiety experience that you would get from an actual meal.